Are you frustrated because you eat well and exercise and do all the right things and still don't sleep well? What if you could fall asleep easily and stay asleep all night, even if you're in your 60s and you've had sleep issues for 20 years? In this episode, you'll meet Marcia, a retired nurse who knew that not sleeping wasn't healthy, and so she was determined to fix it. She finally got to the root of her sleep issues in the Sleep Insight program, and now she never has trouble falling asleep anymore. We talk about not only the physical reasons why she wasn't sleeping, but also how the mental tools she learned in the program made a big difference. This is the Sleep Detective podcast, where you will learn why you can't sleep and how to fix it without drugs. I'm Martha Lewis. As a functional health coach for the past 5 years, I've helped over 200 clients find and fix the root causes of their health issues so they can consistently sleep 7 to 9 hours naturally. Hello, everyone. Today I have my lovely client, Marcia, on to talk about her journey with dealing with sleep issues and her experience in the Sleep Insight program. So thanks for being here, Marcia.
Well, you're very welcome. Glad to be.
Awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate it. So I'd love to talk about your experience and about your journey. And so I'm curious, first of all, like how you were sleeping and what was your health like when you signed up for the program, when you came to me?
Well, I have always had pretty good health. I had two parents that were phys ed teachers.
Mhm.
So they instilled in all seven of us the importance of staying physically active and kind of grew up on a farm as well. So I knew eating well was important and staying physically active was important. And so it was probably after I had kids. Um, that I just was not getting great sleep. And it's funny how after you realize um, your health starts to deteriorate a little bit in small ways. And for me, I kept thinking, well, there's not a whole lot I can do differently because I'm eating healthy, I'm active, I'm this, I'm that. And so I did think that the sleep was impacting me more negatively than I thought. Because at first it was like, well, so you don't get a great night's sleep. Okay. We can all get along with 4 or 5 hours of sleep and it's not a problem. But as it continued, I realized it is a problem. And I kind of struggled with it for years, many years, just saying it's me. I'll try over the counter stuff. I never took any prescription meds. I didn't want to get to that point. And so I kept talking to my physicians about it, and they would say, well, just, all the average stuff, cool your room down, dark this, everything. Don't turn off your screens. I mean, I knew all that. So I was looking for some options, and I can't even tell you how I stumbled on the sleep detective program. I don't even know. I'm
Well,
not sure.
that's okay. I'm glad that we found each other.
Sure. And so I thought, you know what? This is worth giving it a try. I've struggled long enough, maybe 20 years.
Okay.
Enough is enough. And by
Right.
that time, my kids had grown. They were in college and they had left the house. And I thought, you know what? It's time to think about me.
Yes. I love it. Okay, good. So yeah, so we kind of talked about what you tried before, like, the sleep hygiene it's called and over the
Yeah.
counter stuff. Yeah, anything else that you remember trying over the years?
Other than the over the counter, there were some supplements
Mhm.
that I had tried a number of supplements. As I think back about it, it's a very good question. Probably 5 or 6 different natural supplements that I had read about that some people maybe recommended and others I just thought, "You know what? It doesn't hurt to try." So I probably tried 7 or 8 different natural supplements, many of them containing different formularies.
Right.
And what I found is that some worked for a little while and then they didn't work. Others didn't work at all. And what I realized for me personally is that everybody's body is different and everybody's body is going to react differently to these supplements. And I think what was missing and what I was doing was having something quote unquote customized for me that was going to work for me and my body with my metabolism, my hormones, my lifestyle, my diet, everything else. And I think that's what was missing. Those are the other things that I tried. Of course, the sleep hygiene that we talked about before. I had been doing that for many years
Mm.
already. But after I enrolled in your program, I realized that was it to me, I think it was more of a not psychological, but it was more of a mental letting my body relax as opposed to physical letting my body
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah.
So, I needed to work on that piece of it because I'm not one that likes to sit still for very long, as I know we talked about that. To like to go and keep moving and be active, and there's a time and place where it's okay to stop and take some deep breaths and relax, and I needed to do more of that
Mm.
time to sleeping.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you realize that. Yeah, thanks for sharing, because I also think that this is a similar experience to so many people of going to the doctor. They don't really have an answer, trying all these different things, trying these supplements, trying the sleep rules, as I call them, and nothing's really working. And yeah, it's because there's something deeper going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad that learning how to relax a little bit really helped.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I think we get stuck in this fight or flight, and especially in our modern society of working and raising kids and all the things. And we just get so busy. And we can do that for a while until eventually our bodies, no,
Yeah.
can't keep doing that forever.
Yeah. My body's saying enough is enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, was there anything significant you remembered from your test results?
And that's the other thing I wanted to mention is that I think that your program, the fact that you do a myriad of tests, and I think that is really important to get an understanding of what's physiologically going on in your body.
Mhm.
Because as there could be stuff that you don't know about, whether it's toxins or molds or mineral deficiencies, all sorts of things like that. And hormones, there's so many different aspects that can be affecting your body physiologically that you don't really know where to start.
Right.
And I mean, I have a medical background. I was an OR nurse for years, and then I went into medical device sales. So I have a medical background. So I thought, I know my body, but you don't know you really don't know what's going on the inside, even
Right.
though you think you're feeding it the right fuel and everything else. So I think doing the myriad of tests and either identifying where some of the weaknesses are or ruling out where some of the weaknesses aren't is very helpful. I
Yeah.
think that is really helpful, and that can then lead to the customization that I was talking about before, where you can kinda zero in on, what's right for you. Not what's right for your neighbor, but what's right for you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, because everyone's different. So
Mhm.
even though I'm running the same 4 tests, the results I find are completely different for everyone.
Right.
There are some, like, themes of, like, gut health and liver function and neurotransmitters, but yeah, there's a lot of nuances as what could be going on for that's different for each person. So, yeah.
Completely agree.
Yeah. Yeah, so some of the things I remember finding was, like, some, neurotransmitters were low, hormones were low, um, what else? Definitely gut health was a part of it. Like, you didn't
Yeah.
have any major pathogens, but, like, you weren't digesting protein well, and your immune response was really high, and then there were some liver detox issues too that we saw. So,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
So, yeah, I implemented a number of recommendations, and my gut health completely changed
Okay.
around. Which was good, but I guess I stumbled upon something that I had gotten at some point. Who knows if it was idiopathic or if it was I was exposed to something, but I got that resolved, and it really kinda turned my gut health around, and that really, that started me on the journey to sleeping much better. So there were a number of things, like you said, the liver, I had to do some liver detox. And I also, on my own, this wasn't something, it was something you recommended, but it's not part of the 4 tests that you do. I think it's 4, isn't it? Is it 4?
Mhm.
is that I got my own continuous glucose monitor. And again, that's something I did on my own, and I was really surprised, but it doesn't. And in hindsight, it doesn't surprise me because you thought my cortisol was doing something funky in the middle of the night, and it was because my glucose was plummeting in the middle of the night. And I was able to determine that using their continuous glucose monitor, which really was pretty eye opening.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad you did that, and it's so crazy when we can see that dip happening, like when blood sugar just drops in the middle of the night at the same time you're waking up. It's always
Exactly.
eye-opening for people, and it
Yeah.
explains why you're waking up then. So,
Yes.
yeah. So I'm
Yes.
glad you were willing to do that.
It took me a little while, but I think I had read even more about it. Like to do a lot of reading on homeopathic and natural means for different things. And I kept seeing CGM in a lot of places. And I was like, okay, it's time for me to do it.
Yeah, this is your sign.
Yeah. That's my sign.
It's
Yeah.
not going
That's it.
away. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
Well, I'm glad you did. So do you think that made the biggest difference or
I think it was a
the le
combination.
yeah,
I
okay.
think it was a combination. I did you had early on, you had recommended in one of your sessions about positive affirmation. And I think doing that as you're getting ready to kind of wind down and start the whole sleep process, just talking about how much you really can't wait to go to sleep, how you like to sleep, how you really enjoy sleeping, how you're going to get a good night's sleep, and just how comfortable you are and how everything feels so comfortable. And it sounds kind of weird. I understand that, but talking yourself into how good you're going to sleep was really helpful for me, and then I also did some breathing things that really helped me cleanse my mind and cleanse my body, and just some quick mantras and some deep breathing for, like, 5 minutes. Mm. I don't have problems falling asleep anymore.
Amazing.
So, to me, I think it was a combination of a number of different things.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. And I love that the mental part was helpful for you as well. Cause a lot of times I'm focusing on the labs and things like that. Although in my programs, I definitely, believe in a body mind approach because it's usually some of both.
But I think, me personally, and I'm confident there's many people like me, you focus in on the physical first. You kind of bypass and say, well, I'll get to that mental part of it.
Uh huh.
I need to when I need to. But for me, when I saw the results of some of the tests, I realized I think there's a little more emotional than there is physical. And that's when I said, let's do it. Plus, like you said, it really does require you to get into some of these modules and listen to them, read them, watch them, whatever you want to do, because you provide a lot of information in those modules. It's above and beyond some of the just sessions that you have when you're being coached.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So I'm glad you took advantage of those. Yeah.
They're
Awesome. Awesome. So tell us how you're sleeping now. You mentioned you have no trouble falling asleep.
Yes, I don't have any trouble falling asleep. There's times when I wake up and I have a little bit of an issue going back to sleep, but I've identified through a couple of probably mostly the glucose monitoring that I drinking a glass of wine is not that great for me simply because it's like you have said, it's poison. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can't really avoid it. Just well, you can avoid it. Of course you can avoid it,
Right.
but sometimes you don't want
Choose
to avoid
not to.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you choose not to avoid it. And I that makes the biggest difference for me. So when I don't have a glass of wine, I can tell my sleep is gonna be better.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, I and the other thing, and you said this and it really helped me too, is that if you do have a bad night, you don't lament all day on, oh man, I slept so terrible last night. I can't believe I didn't get any sleep. I just say, okay, that too shall pass. And I don't care if I didn't have a great night's sleep. I'm going to go on with my day. And at the end of the day, I'm going to have a good night's sleep. And you don't spend a lot of time thinking about how terribly you slept because it does you no good. And it might happen every once in a while, but it certainly doesn't happen to me anywhere near the frequency that it used to.
Yeah. Which
And,
is
and if
great.
it does, yeah, you just go through the day and I don't find myself feeling, I wish I would have slept better. I don't feel that way because I'm like, it's not a big deal. I'll sleep better tonight. I'll sleep good tonight.
Yeah. Awesome, I love it. I think especially when you know why. I'm the same way. Sometimes I choose to have a drink and then I don't sleep well. And
Yep.
then the next day I'm like, I know why. I'm gonna
Yep.
be fine. I'll sleep great tonight. So big
Yep.
deal.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's really empowering too to be able to get to the point where you are consistently sleeping pretty well. And then when an off night happens, you usually know why. And
Yep.
so
Yeah.
it's easy to fix.
Well, the other thing, you don't want to spend your day thinking about how lousy you slept.
Yeah.
That gets you nowhere. It makes you, I don't know, maybe not as positive or optimistic as you'd like to
Right.
be throughout the day, and you just feel like you're dragging. And I don't do that. I don't have many bad nights of sleep, but if I do, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's great because yeah, then your next day is ruined if you do that, and then you're probably gonna affect your sleep the next night.
You
So,
worry about it.
like
Yeah.
yeah, not only it does no good, it can actually, you know, do some harm and lead to
Yeah.
that spiraling into more bad nights and more bad nights. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so good for you for doing the work to change that. It's
Yeah.
not always easy.
Hmm. Great.
Awesome. So, what else has changed besides sleep, would you say? You mentioned
I feel pretty healthy. I mean, I don't take any prescription medications, and I'm in my 60s, and I don't like to take. I mean, everybody around me is taking statins. I just cannot believe it.
yeah.
I have a very strong family history, and so just in the last year, like 5 of my siblings started taking statins, and
Wow.
it was I you know, I don't want I just don't want to start getting on that train. So, I'm confident that getting good sleep is really a backbone of good health in many different ways. And so I feel healthy, and I don't have lots of aches and pains or anything like that. So I can't help, and I've read a lot about it too. I can't help but believe that good sleep is really part of the backbone of good health.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a comment I wanted to make too is that a lot of the supplements that you and your team have recommended have made a difference too. To try to balance out, whether it's hormones or whatever it is, those supplements have helped me as well.
Good, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else you wanna add?
No, I said this at the beginning when I first enrolled in the program. I think there's a real need for this, something like this. I think as I talk to people, a lot of people, not more, probably more women than men, they just don't sleep well. I mean, you very seldom talk to people who say, "Oh my gosh, I'm just a great sleeper." Honestly, it just seems like there's between all the pharmacological agents that are out there and all the different things that people are on and their stress level and everything else. I think there's more and more people who just sleep does not come easily. So I think there's a big need for programs like this. And I applaud you for finding a need or seeing a need and putting some teeth to it in developing programs. And it looks like you've got a lot of different options now. It's not just 1 or 2. It looks like there's different options that are available. Just how deep people wanna go and how much they want to, spend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think part of it too, thank you for saying that. I think people think that they just have to live with it as well, because
Yeah.
especially if you go to your doctor and they don't really have an answer, and then it's, "Well, what else is there besides I take a sleeping pill, I try all this random stuff, or I just live with it." And yeah, so I want people to know that you don't have to live with this.
And then the more that I read, the more that I recognized that good sleep is important to everything you do.
Right. Yeah,
And you can live with it for a while, but after a while you say, "Okay, I don't wanna shorten my life by 5 years because I don't sleep
right,
great."
right. Yeah, and unfortunately, like, having a healthy diet and exercising, all those things aren't enough to make up for not sleeping well.
That's correct.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, those are, like, the 3 big ones, and if you
Yeah.
don't have one of them, then it's yeah, it's gonna be really hard for your body to stay healthy.
Yeah.
So
And then if you know you're doing everything right,
right.
I'm everything
Yeah.
the experts tell me I should be doing. I don't, I turn off my screen and my phone. I put my phone on silent. I don't. have it in my room. It's dark. I wear a mask, everything
Yeah.
cool. And I eat right. And I
Yeah.
exercise. There's still something missing.
Yeah. I was the same way. And
Yeah.
and so I thought it was amazing when I'm like, "Oh, I have a parasite. Okay, that explains what's going." Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I was happy when I saw all these imbalances, and I think sometimes people are scared of what we're gonna find, and it's like, "Okay, we're not finding cancer or like, anything crazy like that." But we are finding some things that are affecting your health that we can correct pretty quickly.
And
So,
balances. Yep.
yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, right. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing this. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
If you want to fix your sleep, even if you've been struggling for 20 years, you want to sign up for the Sleep Insight program. It's a 6-month group coaching program that includes functional lab tests and assessments to uncover everything that is causing your sleep issues so that nothing is missed. Then you get a customized and holistic plan so you know exactly what to do to get your body back in balance and restore your health so you can sleep normally long term. You'll also get 6 months of support with weekly live coaching calls and daily group chat messaging Monday through Friday to get all of your questions answered and help you implement your plan so you can sleep well without sleep aids. There's also a curriculum of to the point trainings about health, diet, blood sugar, mindset, and sleep that you can start as soon as you sign up so you start improving right away. And within a week of signing up, you will get a customized jumpstart plan where a coach will review your case and we will give you the top 3 things to start working on right away. So you don't have to wait for your test results back to get started. The investment for the program is $2,500 or 5 monthly payments of $500, plus the cost of the lab tests, which are just under $1,000. You can sign up at the link in the show notes to get started today to find and fix what's causing your sleep issues so you can sleep well without meds.